What is up, guys? Today we're going to go over top 5 stocks I'm buying in a market crash. Guys, we are at peak, almost peak, all-time highs, guys. And when we see this type of stuff, we see that, you know, can a stock keep on ripping? Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Can stocks keep on ripping? Oh, of course. Yeah, the bull run's crazy, but I'm going to be honest with you and I'm going to tell you guys the truth. Okay. And the truth is, and this is the truth, that right now there's a higher opportunity for the market to go down than the market to keep on ripping. And that's the truth. And so it's weird because I'm very proactive with my videos. If you guys see when I said I had a profit in the crash, and guess what? That Friday, guess what happened? Trump said 100% tariffs on China. Guess what? I know XRP went down like nearly 50%. You know what I'm saying? I know all that stuff. You know what I'm saying, guys? So it's like when stuff like that happens, you got to be ready to capitalize. That's why I always keep some cash, on me. I got cash on me. Obviously, some of it's margin. 17 of that $24,000 is margin, but we got some cash on me. Look, majority of my portfolio is cash. We got options collateral, but majority of my portfolio is cash. The reason why the majority of my portfolio is cash is because we are not in equity play time, guys. We are in cash time, where it profits to be in cash. Okay. Now, without further ado, let's just hop into it, my boys. So let's go to my list. And here is my list. The first one that I would like to talk about would be Nebby. Nebby would be one of the top ones that I would want to buy during a major pullback. What is Nebius? Nebius deals with data centers, obviously, which AI needs. Right, so Nebius is a great data center play. Obviously, it had some, extremely, exciting news teaming up with Microsoft, and it's been crushing it. It's been doing great. Obviously, 6 analysts say it is at 83% buy rating. Hedge funds have been buying it up a little bit, and some have been taking profits off of the big rip. Earnings will be coming out here soon. The PE ratio is 123 currently at this time. That's what I'm saying. It'd be great to buy this during a major pullback, boys. Year to date up 304%, like we said. Past 3 months 108%, past month 21%, and the past week is down 12%. Nebius would be a good hold to buy during a market crash, guys. Next is Robinhood. This would be literally my second stock to buy in a market crash. And guys, this is strictly for equity plays. You guys know I trade a lot of options. I sell a lot of options, I would say. But this is strictly for equity plays, or, I'm saying maybe I'd buy some leaps, long-term, positions, as in leaps, buying calls, and hopefully around the peak, or, we start seeing some recovery in stocks when the market does crash. But guys, Robinhood up 239%. Almost 240%. Guys, with Robinhood, I remember when Robinhood was $8. I remember during this whole entire time that Robinhood traded around this area. And boys, I should have bought a boatload. But guess what? I didn't have the money that I had. All my money was tied up in Palantir. But I should have capitalized off this moment. That's the problem, guys. I didn't have the money that I had, back during those times. You know what I'm saying? I just lost, crap ton of money in Tattoo Chef, half my portfolio, Palantir, was at the $6 range too. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what I'm saying? I only had, a couple $1,000s to spare, and, we put that in other plays as well. But I just didn't have enough money for Robinhood. But Robinhood is a monster. Obviously, kind of brought this wave of retail trading, which is good. Whether you love them or hate them, guys, I use them. It allows me to make, obviously, if we look at my year to date, just right now, it has prompted me to make, pretty much a good amount of money this year. If we look at that, and then, my max would be, 53. But my year to date is 54. So $54,000 my year to date. It helped me, profit a lot, guys. But Robinhood, love them or hate them, the stock has done excellent this past year. I would be looking to build at least an equity position, and obviously the stocks I'm going to go over, besides probably the last one. But buy, hold. You guys know how I feel about equity plays, so this is kind of like a big deal. to buy these equity plays, because I don't like my capital tied up, but I believe in these stocks in long term. I feel like it'll be doing great. Next one is obviously the big dog that has had major rips, which is Nvidia. Nvidia up 34%, but for the past 5 years, it's been up 1,218%. Past years still up 32%. But past 5 years, guys, 1,218%. Obviously, that's crazy. That's crazy, guys. But obviously, everybody knows Nvidia. AI chips, all that shebang shabong. Nvidia, I think long term, yes, it got the AI chips, but you got to sit here and think eventually, the next wave will come out, and the next wave will come out, and the next wave will come out of not just better AI chips, but better, what's after AI. If the world doesn't all end, if the Matrix ain't real, and the Terminator ain't real, and if we survive. But guys, what is that? I would be like the quantum chip probably be next, and getting into the quantum jump and stuff and all that, and stuff like that. And so as you continue to elevate, the whole entire infrastructure of everything has to elevate. You know what I mean? So that's Nvidia. The next one be Tesla. Tesla obviously had a great run up here recently from it being down, 43%. And I was actually considering buying Tesla right around this price point, but like I said, guys, I didn't have enough, cash yet. And but yeah, it shot back up. Basically, if you bought around these times, it's like a $200 gain per share. But Tesla's an overall long-term winner. With that being said, it just is, guys. It's a good long-term winner. With everything that Tesla's doing, rather if you care about electric cars or not, Tesla is more than that. Tesla is more than its electric vehicles. But yeah, guys, obviously we're not going to go super in depth because a lot of these stocks that majority of you guys should know. You guys should know Robinhood, Nvidia, Tesla. I'm sure decent people know about Nebius too, but it's not as well known as the rest of those other stocks that we went over. And the last one, guys, is going to actually kind of surprise you guys. It's either going to be TQQQ or UPRO. I would prefer TQQQ because I like the technology of it. And we're going to go, obviously, you've seen back during this pullback, that we had in April, it went from, $90 to, $40, $38, what I'm saying, $38. So, it lost a great amount, 51%, almost 52% during that time. And then, it shot back up to 104. So this would be like a good thing that, if the market crashed and we had kind of like an April, pullback, we had a little pullback like April did, you got a few grand left. You just put it in TQQQ and let it ride, brother, and let it go, let the market recover. And once the market recovers, it is what it is, brother. You get that cash. The reason why these are the top 5 is just because, for the simple fact and reason that, all these stocks are needed. All these stocks will have the bounce back, whether you love them or hate them. All these stocks will bounce back. Even TQQQ. It's not going to go if the Nasdaq's not going to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And more likely it's going to recover. And like I said earlier in the video, guys, if it doesn't, then that would be the least of your worries at that point. Money wouldn't matter at that point in time. If the markets go to zero. But guys, with that being said, guys, be on the lookout for that. I know we are at, damn near all-time highs, guys, and, we're at all-time highs right now. And this is the time that, Kane, you showed us, your portfolio right now, and, you got a lot of cash on you and this and that. And yeah, I'm up 80% year to date, guys. The past year I was up 191%. All time we're up 721%. So it gets a little bit crazy, guys, when, my year to date is 80%, but my past year was 191%. It gets a little crazy. Blessed to have this, guys, and be able to do the stuff that I'm able to do with this, right? But at the same time, let's not be stupid and keep thinking that this market and this bull run is going to keep on going up and up and up, right? And I would like to give a little shout out to QXO. QXO would be a good long term play. I'd obviously buy it during a crash, but this is one of the stocks that I am starting an equity position in. You guys know how I feel about equity positions. I very rarely ever do it because I don't like my capital tied up. But we are also doing options with QXO as we speak. Yep, we got 3 puts. We sold 3 puts on QXO and we escaped with basically, $102 for a total return of that, which is great. We should be able to receive what we're looking like $105 after everything's said and done. But yeah, guys, and these are obviously stocks that I'm willing to buy. We're sitting here looking at it. I talked about Hood. We sold a put on Hood to get in. Nebius, we talked about Nebius, and look, we sold a put to get in, and we're profiting off that stuff. And guys, get the cash flow. Do what you guys need to do. Go back to watch some of my old videos on how to profit during a market crash. So not you're just focused on, this is stocks that Kane are going to buy during the market crash, but also like how I set myself up to capitalize off a market crash, guys. That video is so important. I know people they just want to see how much money I made this month on options, and I know people want to see how much this and that is, but guys, I make the most money during a market crash and then the recovery of that crash. And that's where I make I print tons and tons of money. So guys, watch that video to prepare on how you're able to capitalize off of market crashes like I do. With that being said, guys, I love you guys. Peace.